Hello and welcome to another episode of Laptop Retrospective, and today I have an interesting little query for you. Now, what we have here on the table is a ThinkPad X220 and a ThinkPad X240, and then of course I have a power strip down the middle. And I'm going to need this today because I'm going to be demonstrating something. So for those of you that don't know, the stock power supply for the X240 looks something like this. Standard wall plug, and then of course the rectangular plug that they went with on their newer models. And generally these chargers are designed for about 65 watts, so that's what they're going to be shooting around. And of course for the X220, their charger looks a little bit something like this, almost identical, similar style of plug, and then of course the barrel plug. Now, the historians among you will know that the barrel plug has been around for a very, very long time in one guise or another. And both of these have actually had a very long shelf life if you take that into consideration. Now, most modern ThinkPads use something like this. This is a 65 watt charger with a USB Type-C end for power delivery. And most laptops are going with USB Type-C because it is universal. So what that means, of course, is, and I'm just going to get this out of the way, is not only can you use standard chargers, but you can use something like a GaN charger, which I've featured on this channel before. And then, of course, you have a USB Type-C to USB Type-C, and then, of course, you can charge your modern computer by plugging that in, plug this into the computer. Now, today we're going to be talking about well, it's not fair to call it a mod because there's going to be no physical changes to these computers. And yes, I am aware of the USB Type-C power delivery retrofit that you can do to some ThinkPads where they replace the standard barrel plug charger with a USB Type-C port. But keep in mind that that will only provide power. It's not going to provide any other benefits of USB Type-C. But it's still a really cool modification nonetheless, and I wouldn't mind looking at it sometime. But in the meantime, I have something really strange for us to take a look at. And what these are essentially USB Type-C on one end, but then the traditional charger port on the other. And these were actually pointed out to me in a DM via Twitter by the gentleman in the name of Carlos, who pointed these out to me, and he was asking questions about them. And I'm like, okay, these are really cool. I'm going to have to order a pair and see what they're like. And both of these came from Amazon, and thankfully, to the kindness of viewers like you who have been clicking on those Amazon links in the description, I was able to purchase both of these for the channel. So thank you very much. I do want you to know that those links do have a direct impact very often on what I'm able to show on this channel, and this is just one such result. So what are we looking at here? Well, these are USB Type-C, like I said. They are both rated for 100 watts. Now, that is a very important distinction to make, because one of the things that Carlos and I were talking about, of course, is that if you've ever seen a workstation power supply for a ThinkPad, they're usually about this big. This one in particular is designed for like the W540, 541, and the P50, P51. And as you can see, it's a big beastie. And they can be 130 watts or even higher in terms of what they're delivering. Now, in this situation, the cables would be the bottleneck at 100 watts. So they're not really going to power a workstation, at least not reliably if it's at full draw. If it was turned off, you might be able to get a trickle charge, but that would be about it. So, do these things actually work? Well, yeah, they do. So I do have this GaN charger, which of course is about the size of my fist, and I can plug this in, and I will open up the X220 here. And it is at currently 93% battery, as you can see down here in the corner. And if I plug this in, we've got charge. And just so you know that there's no camera trickery, there it is, plugged in. So does it work? It definitely works. Now, you'll notice that this charger has two power delivery ports. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the juice to do both of these machines at the same time, and I'll demonstrate that. So here we have it, and I'm going to go ahead and plug in that, and as soon as I plug in that cable, you can see that it's not getting the same juice, and the X220 is complaining about that rather loudly. If you had a higher wattage GaN charger, then there's nothing stopping you from theoretically charging multiple devices off of the same power adapter. The other thing, of course, that this allows you to do is that if you have a power supply, like one of those battery banks that offers power delivery of, I would say, 65 or 100 watts, you'd be able to use it in conjunction with these cables to essentially give yourself an external battery. That might be handy, especially as some of these older machines, as they age, finding genuine, new, good, healthy batteries are really hard to find. So would it be a bit of a workaround? Yeah, if you're not willing to like pay a high price for an original new inventory battery, or if you're unfamiliar with how to resell an old battery, at least the ones that you can resell, then this is a viable alternative. Now, the one thing that I will make quite clear is that these cables are about $15 US a piece. They're not exactly what you would call exceptionally expensive. And of course, you're also using something that is non-standard equipment. I would not necessarily want to do this with a brand new device that has any kind of warranty, because I don't know how that's going to go. But that being said, they 100% work the way that they're supposed to, and they charge the computers. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to first of all thank Carlos for telling me about these really cool cables so I could feature them on the channel. I also want to thank you for using those Amazon links, because it was your patronage through them that allowed me to purchase these cables from the Amazon US website. And like I said, I think they're a pretty neat piece of kit. I think you could have a lot of fun with them, especially if you're out and about and you don't want to carry a huge amount of equipment. Theoretically, I could carry these two cables, plus the USB Type-C one, and be able to charge practically every ThinkPad computer I own, with the exception of like the really old ones that had the smaller barrel plug. Now, like I said, do your homework, make sure you fully understand any risks that might be involved using non-standard hardware, but I haven't ran into any particular instances with my brief tests with these to lead me to believe that they're immediately problematic. If you do know a little bit about the USB Type-C standard and how power delivery works, and if you do have concerns, I would love to hear about them in the comments down below. Likewise, if you think that this might be a great addition to your kit, I would also like to hear what you think in the comment section down below. It is a nice alternative for those people that are unwilling or are unable to do the USB Type-C mod to their ThinkPads. And yeah, just be really curious to know what you think. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, I would encourage you to do the big four. Please like the video, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so the next time I release a cool video featuring some quirky cables like this, you'll be the first to know about it. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.